Money makes the world go round, and on this part of the world, in the great business city of Port Harcourt, on Atlantic Television Network, this is Money Time. On ATM Business today, local markets, 8 manufacturers, foreign exchange related losses rise to 627.7 billion naira. Hydrocarbon NNPCL says oil production inches towards 1.7 million barrels per day. On the Economy Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria to increase the benchmark rate. And on IGR, the group blames the deficit on low tax payments. Good day, viewers, and welcome to a fresh episode of ATN Business on Atlantic Television Network, right here in the big business city of Port Harcourt. This is the network's medium of bringing the happenings in the economic sector of the society to our discerning viewers. This program is aimed at bringing to the doorstep of the viewers the business, financial, and economic activities from all strata of society. Its delivery is accentuated through the various stock exchanges across the world, news about government economic activities, private sector business activities, laced with expert opinions, stakeholder analysis, and correspondence reports. By the end of this program, you can be rest assured that you will be informed accurately of all financial activities around the world. And now let's go for that very short break, a short commercial break, and when we return, we'll reel out the details for today. Please stay tuned.
As Morrison Communications Limited proudly presents Children's Day Celebration 2024. Art. Small hotel and resorts number 9 room Calabar or off water line Port Harcourt. On Saturday, May 25th, starting at 8 a.m. into school march past competition, dance competition, drama competition, parents, teachers, and children alike. Don't miss out on the fun with
Uncle Clown bouncing castle as we caught the Children's Day cake. Admission is just 2,000 naira per child for participation and sponsorship opportunities. Call us now 0806 673 8689 and 0810 634 1777.
This event is proudly sponsored by the Last Mall Hotel and Resort with Atlantic Television Network and 99.5 Wish FM Port Harcourt, Lesuka Event Center, Gate Place Hotel, 8 Ball Hotel and Lounge, Oma Studio, Osbia Table Water. Remember,
it's my pleasure to have you back on ATN Business. And now let's go into the market reports, local and international business news for today. 8 manufacturers, including Dangote, BUA, and Lafarge, saw their foreign exchange-related losses rise to 627.7 billion naira in the first quarter of the year, according to findings by the press. This is according to an analysis of the financial statements of the firms published on the Nigerian Exchange Limited, that's the NGX. The listed firms include Lafarge Africa PLC, Bua Foods, Nestle Nigeria, Bua Cement, Dangote Sugar, International Breweries, Nigerian Breweries, and Dangote Cement. Since the turn of the new year, the Naira, which was floated almost a year ago, has witnessed a dramatic depreciation, leaving a devastating mark on the organized businesses across the board. The height of the depreciation came in February, when the local currency traded as high as 1,900 naira against the dollar at the parallel market. This has led firms with forex-denominated obligations on their books to revalue those obligations in line with the depreciation of the local currency, which represents the currency of its earnings. Cement manufacturer Lafarge Africa PLC's forex loss increased to 21.8 billion naira from a gain of 320 million naira in the corresponding period last year. Due to significant forex revaluation losses and higher operating expenses, the company's pre-tax and post-tax profit fell by 61.25% and 65.34%. 65.34% to 8.71 billion naira and 5.19 billion naira respectively. The Chief Executive Officer of Lafarge Africa, Lolu Alade Akinyemi, said that even though the company experienced growth in cement sales as the market recovered in the quarter, the foreign exchange losses due to the further naira depreciation in the quarter resulted in an after-tax profit decline of 65%. Financial profitability ratios slipped, especially return on assets, which fell below 1% to 0.77% in the first quarter of 2023 from 2.56% first quarter of 2024 from 2.56% in the first quarter of 2023. Another major cement producer, Dangote Cement, saw its forex loss increase to 63.77 billion naira, up from 9.79 billion naira. The manufacturing giant, however, shrugged off the headwinds to double its revenue to 817.35 billion naira in first quarter of 2024 from 406.7 billion naira in corresponding time of 2023. The company's revenue rose to 161.13 billion naira in the first quarter to 106.35 billion naira in the first quarter of 2024 as the sale of cement increased by 51.51%. Like other cement manufacturers, the company weathered a number of challenges, including inflation, forex volatility, which led to a rise in its cost of sales and cement prices. Bua Cement took advantage of its newly commissioned plants in Obu Line 3 and Sokoto Line 5 to grow sales volumes, which was insufficient to improve earnings margins in first quarter of 2024. Beg your pardon. The cumulative revenues of the industry's top three producers grew to 1.12 trillion naira from 604.8 billion naira in the first quarter of 2023. In the food and beverages sector, Nestle Nigeria led the line with a forex loss of 166.9 billion naira. The depreciation of the naira in the first quarter of 2024 imposed a net loss of 142.7 billion naira on the company. Another major manufacturer in the consumer goods sector, Dangote Sugar, recorded a forex loss of 102.9 billion naira in the first quarter of the year. The company recorded a 68.9 billion naira loss in the first quarter of the year, with the naira depreciating playing along a major role in the numbers recorded during the period in review. Similarly, the international brewery's forex loss rose to 162.2 billion naira in the first quarter of the year. The company, like its counterparts in the brewing industry and business, had fallen on hard times due to the volatility in the forex market. The company reported a loss of 60.39 billion naira compared with a loss of 2.31 billion naira in the first quarter of 2023, making it the sixth consecutive loss-making quarter. Its counterpart, Nigerian Breweries, also saw its forex loss hit 72.8 billion naira. The brewer said it has equally struggled to offset a 205 million euros debt it has on its books since the depreciation of the naira. The company recording a loss after tax of 52 billion naira for the first quarter ended 31st March, indicating a 386.13% increase compared to 10.715 billion naira posted in the same quarter ended March 31st, 2023. Completing the list was Bua Foods, which recorded a forex loss of 27.2 billion naira, despite growing its gross profit by 37.93% to 115.42 billion naira in the first quarter 2024, from 55.66 billion naira in the first quarter of 2024. The company's managing director, Ayodele Abioye, noted that the bulk of our raw materials are FX dependent, constituted a major challenge for manufacturers in the Q1. He added that the depreciation of the naira by 24 naira 51 kobo percent from 988 naira and 46 kobo per dollar at the start of January to 1,309 naira at the end of March 2023. That was one of my heaviest periods. To count the FX losses incurred also by BUA Foods in the quarter. And to some other news, for flaunting regulations, 9 financial institutions paid 678 million naira in fines in 2023, according to press analysis of their annual reports. Last year, the financial groups were more regulatory compliant as the fine they paid during this period was 89.25% lower than 6.31 billion naira penalties they paid in 2022. The firms whose financials were analyzed included FBN Holdings, Access Holdings, Guarantee Trust Holdings, Zenith Bank PLC, United Bank for Africa, Fidelity Bank, and Wema Bank, Stanbic IBTC Holdings, and FCMB Group. The regulators that sanctioned the affected financial groups were the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Securities and Exchange Commission, the National Insurance Commission, the NGX Regulation Limited, FMDQ, and all other parastatals, including the Pension Commission. Zenith Bank, which did not have any penalties in 2022, paid 21 million naira penalties last year. In 2021, the banking group had paid 4 million naira, sustaining its low level of infractions over the years. In 2023, the Apex Bank fined the bank 5 million naira for late rendition of CBN returns, 10 million naira for the employment of prospective employees without CBN approval, and 2 million for outstanding auditors' recommendation, and 4 million naira for the sports check on compliance on politically exposed persons. FBN Holdings during the period ended December 31st, 2023, paid 17.26 million naira to regulators, which was lower than the 26 million naira it paid in the previous year. The company reported that it paid 9.60 million naira and 4.55 million naira to the NGX Registration and Security and Exchange Commission, respectively, for their submission to 2025 for late submission of 2022 FY audited financial statements and Q1 of 2023 unaudited financial statements. The banking group is already on the X-compliance report published by the NGX Regco for failing to submit its 2023 regulatory report within the stipulated time frame. The subsidiary of the group, FBN Quest Merchant Bank, which also paid a penalty of 3 million naira to the SEC for breaching of transactions rules and 0.11 million naira. To FMDQ for the late filing of deferral requests on behalf of his clients. Access Holdings was one of the banks and banking groups that significantly reduced the value of penalties that they be paid in the year 2024. Access Holdings paid 81.60 million naira in the past year. In all, Access Corp was fined 9 times by different regulators, including the CBN, PENCOM, and the NGX and RegCo. PENCOM fined Access Corp's 2 million naira for the use of unauthorized advert material, 0.2 million for a violation of the revised guidelines for retirement savings account registration, and 39.4 million naira for data recapture sanction. The NGX RegCo penalized Access Holdings for the late filing of 2022 audited financial statements to the tune of 2 million naira. The banking group got the highest penalties from the CBN, the 10 million naira in respect of employment of prospective employees without CBN approval. The 2 million naira pays is the penalty for delayed response to the customers as directed by the Apex Bank. 5 million naira for IRO, anti-money laundering, combating the financing of terrorism and countering proliferation, and financing risk-based examination. For the period May 1 to 2021 to April 30th, 2022, 15 million naira for IRO of penalties for the late rendition of monthly, quarterly, and semi-annual returns for June 2023, and 6 million naira RIO risk-based examination as at June the 30th, 2022. GTCO also recorded lower fines in 2023, which dropped to 73.88 million naira. From 4.21 billion naira in the previous year, which was paid across some of the countries where it operates. In Nigeria, it paid penalties in respect of the 2020 risk asset examination. Bank 2023 bank returns rendition is 11 million naira, and 2021 to 2022 AML CFT examination on the bank cost 30 million naira. Its pension subsidiary GT Pensions Manager said 250 naira would be a penalty for the resumption of a top management staff without PENCOM's approval. The GT fund manager was fined 1.38 million for non-compliance with the custody rules for Vantage investment notes, 9.40 million naira for underpaying its regulatory fees on Vantage investment notes, and 1 million naira for the publication of advertisement material without SEC's approval. The company was fined 2 million naira for an infraction related to the inadequacy of its minimum paid-up capital outside the shores of Nigeria. GT Gambia was fined 919,000 naira 384 for late submission of fit and proper person tests, and GT Rwanda paid 4 million naira for the breach of AML reporting, EDWH reporting, and appraise of head of Syscon and Treasury delayed FX transfers report as at December 31st, 2023. GTCO had 8 international banking subsidiaries and two sub-subsidiaries. The United Bank for Africa also significantly They significantly reduced the value of infractions in the year under review, as it reduced from 1.14 billion people to 110 million people. Like the proceedings started earlier, we are trying to create. The bank said it did not incur any penalty from CBN per se. And moving on to 1.28 million barrels per day in April, the NNPC Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Mele Kyari, says that Nigeria's oil production was inching towards 1.7 million barrels per day as at Saturday. This is as the NNPCL boss hinted that the critical gas infrastructure projects are ongoing to ensure the transport of 8 billion stock of gas daily through an extensive pipeline network within the next 4 years. Kyari spoke during a stakeholders engagement between the Nigerian Association of Petroleum Explorationists and the NNPCL held in Lagos on Saturday. According to Kyari, the nation's crude oil production keeps dropping due to the oil theft and vandalism. The NNPCL boss emphasized the need to fight insecurity in the oil and gas sector to increase production. How do you increase oil production? Remove the security challenge, and we have in our onshore assets. As we all know, the security challenge is real. It's not just about theft, it's about the availability of infrastructure to deliver the volume to the market. No one is going to put money into oil production when he knows that the production will not get to the market. Within the last 2 years, we removed over 5,800 illegal connections from our pipelines. We took down over 600 illegal refineries, cooking pots, or whatever they were. You simply cannot get people to put money around you to solve problems, he stated. Due to pipeline vandalism, Kyari said that everyone resorted to barging, with some spending $21 to transport a barrel of oil to the terminals. He argued that barging and the trucking of petroleum products did not happen in the 1990s. Barging is not common, it's not normal. Barging is not economical, even trucking. In 1991, we didn't know of barging even to put oil on the trucks, but that's when we were doing that's what we are doing today, he stated. However, Kyari disclosed that the good news is that there is substantial work that needs to be done by the government and I'm not going to speak about it, but I know that this will come to pass. It's already subsiding. We are already seeing the results. As of today's data, we are inching 1.7 million barrels per day. We won't celebrate this on the 17th of April 2020. Our production, without doing anything, without drilling new wells, shot up to 2.2 billion barrels per day. 2.2 million barrels per day. The difference was COVID-19, and the thieves, the vandals, everybody went to sleep. We should be able to take control of this infrastructure. We are doing many things. I am very sure things are changing, and that is why we are seeing the new value that is coming on the table. Production will improve. Kyari noted that the AKK pipeline is a key element in the discussion about developing the infrastructure needed to ensure gas supply. He emphasized that the only remaining task to connect the east and the west is a 2.7-kilometer river crossing. This, he assured, would be completed by the end of May or June, enabling the flow of gas from the east to the west. And now let's go for that very short commercial break, and when we return, we'll go straight into the interview section. Don't move a muscle.
Get ready! As Morrison Communications Limited proudly presents Children's Day Celebration 2024.
Arts. La Small Hotel and Resorts, number 9, Rumukalagbo off Waterlines, Pastor, Port Harcourt.
On Saturday, May 25th, starting at 8 a.m., inter-school march past competition,
Dance competition, drama competition. Parents, teachers, and children alike, don't miss out on the fun with Uncle Clown bouncing castle as we cut the Children's Day cake. Admission is just 2,000 naira per child. For participation and sponsorship opportunities, call us now 0806 673 8689 and 0810 634 1777.
This event is proudly sponsored by the La Small Hotel and Resort with Atlantic Television Network and 99.5 Wish FM Port Harcourt, Lesuka Event Center, Gate Place Hotel, 8 Ball Hotel and Lounge, Oma Studio, Osgia Table Water.
Remember that every child is unique. See you there. This event is managed by Pace Expressions Arts.
Special guest appearance, Hilda Dokubo, Children's Day Celebration 2024.
Driver, why you just dey jack us up and down like this now?
I hope nobody carry belle.
Why you ask oh?
Because this road wey you dey see so, e no guarantee safe delivery oh.
We just dey vote for government, but we no get good governance.
At all.
Road so e no dey, light o usai, the infrastructure nko e come turn to be forbidden fruit for the people.
Corruption, spoil everything. Hello?
Hello, madam. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mrs. Ayeni. I am calling from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs.
Okay. Okay, I've been expecting your call.
Madam, remove this your phone from loudspeaker.
No vex, now my phone be like that. Hello?
Are you there?
I hear, I'm hearing you.
Yes. We saw a copy of your invoice for computers, printers, and laptops.
Yes. Are you working on them now?
Ma, the prices you quoted are way too high now.
Madam, sorry oh, please don't cost.
We found the laptop you said is 1.8 million naira for 600,000 naira.
Hello?
Now my body network there.
I can't hear you. Network is bad.
Madam, we can hear you. Continue.
Hello, I can't hear you. I will call you back.
Their behavior no good now.
Madam, now this kind behavior they kill our country. You suppose do things differently. Make Nigeria for better.
This message is brought to you by the Akin Fadehi Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
I don't get a lot. Boy, they won't booga me small. They say, man, give them bribe. I say, nothing. Okay, now, we'll go block later. You remember that contract we will do that time now? They don't pay.
But first, you see the house rent with the old things. We go first call caretaker, take the money, slap him.
Beg, see, you know, say I get annual levy why they pay for club. Where me and boys they shark beer in our house, I supposed to pay that one. You remember say me and tell you I go buy you motor. I go buy now.
Okay, nah. They pay you money now. We don't they beg caretaker? Why would they beg landlord, old man, and they agree give us time? Money can't come now. You won't divert time. You said na corruption. Corruption. Not in my house and not in my country.
Sure.
Corruption not in my country. This message is brought to you by the Akin Fadehi Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
Kasali, I hope my car don't ready. I get interview in 30 minutes.
Guy, you don't ready. I just the last minute instruction where you give me yesterday. Now in the cause more delay.
Which instruction?
Maybe now you say make I change the meter, make you no read again.
Which time I make you change meter? Oh, Kasali, why you do like this now?
You don't get sense. You don't read the text message. Nobody I want send them to. Like Kasali, my electrician, make it come house, call me, do my meter so that you don't go to read again. You the electrician?
The electrician?
Yes, now.
So you call Kasali electrician, make it come help you adjust your meter, make it for no read again, Abi. So you said you want join people where be say they no want they pay NEPA bill again, Abi. Oga, you know good now. You don't use them, you don't they behave like tea, all these stiff people.
What you change from your motor? What you change from?
Two lights. Fuel gauge. Speedometer.
For what now? You for come out for home my motor. I don't identify for me.
Okay. Now don't do something we corrupt. Do something come backfire. Now go come they find how to dodge them.
What you talk?
They greet you.
Corruption not in my country. This message is brought to you by the Akin Fadehi Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
What you want to buy?
Potato. Small baskets. I want plantain. But why your plantain can't hard like this?
Madam, now the outside hard. Inside there, it is very soft.
Madam, wallahi make I no buy them. Make I show you something. What? What in be this one? Madam, this one now the chemical where they put on for the plantain make I ripe up.
So you dey put chemical for plantain where people go chop?
No water, no be chemical.
Water. You know say Pela I don't talk and say water and not be enemy. Drink am.
Where you collect that water, drink am.
I just stop finish. See my belly. After it don't big. I just stop drink water finish.
Wait, you drink am now. I dey sell am plantain. I go come put am for chemical because I want to make a ripe go. That one I talk and now corruption. Corruption. Not be for this kaswa. Come not be for this country. Now me take am.
Corruption not in my country.
This message is brought to you by the Akin Fadehi Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network. Glad to welcome you back to ATN Business on Atlantic Television Network right here in the big business city of Port Harcourt. Don't forget we are on Star Times channel 194 and you can also view us live on your YouTube channels. Our guest for today is a financial analyst by the name of Beatrice Ogunte. She has been here with us and this by popular demand, she is back here with us again. It's a pleasure having you back.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming. Now let's delve into the issue for the day. The Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria has blamed the trust deficit on the government as the reason Nigerians do not pay taxes. President of the CITN, Mr. Samuel Agbeluyi, disclosed this recently at the formal commissioning of the David Olorunleke House, CITN Abuja Liaison Office in Abuja. He stressed that Nigerians were not seeing the dividends of their tax on infrastructural development in Nigeria, which is why the citizenry is unwilling to pay tax. According to him, the government must work to gain Nigerians' confidence and ensure tax compliance. And now, let's head on to the first question for today. How can the government, Ms. Ogunte, how can the government instill confidence on taxpayers once more?
You really have to put a lot of work into the tax sector because, I mean, tax payment here in Nigeria is a joke. So the world is digital. Why don't they just make this a technological kind of device where you can pay your tax and you just, okay, go over with the stress of their multiple regulations and all of that. So they can simplify this, and when the technology is there, we see what we are paying and what you use it for. We get feedback from that. I think it's easier that way. So it's a digital world. They should do something concerning that. I think they can gain our confidence when we see payments and then we see returns. I think we can work with that.
Okay, so what you're trying to say is that the analog method of payment is a bit making it a bit cumbersome. That you prefer
exactly.
the let them move totally into the digital
Yeah, so we get
plane.
a database.
We can have a database,
Yes.
and everyone can see how much they've paid in from anywhere in the world.
Yes.
Okay, then in that case, what is the corrupt part of the payment system we have right now?
I think we overpay for things. It's not just expensive, but paying double, like you just have different names and you're still paying for the same thing. That's alone, it's corruption. I don't the administration also, they should work on that, because that's the way where they can siphon most of this money, and then we don't even get to see results. So the administration should organize themselves just so we don't pay double, because the regulations and then the way we pay double for all of this stuff, it's nothing to write home about. So that's why I call the tax system here in Nigeria a joke. They are playing with the citizens. Truth be told.
Now we are seeing an issue where a group that is even based in taxation, the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, is saying that because an average Nigerian cannot see the effect, the impact of his taxes on infrastructure, on roads, on water, on various infrastructure that will be needed to make life a bit easier, that could be the reason why there is low trust. There's a low trust level for the average citizen on the tax authorities and in general the government itself. Is there any way to bridge that gap between the average taxpayer and the government to be able to have the same? Because I know without taxes we can't really achieve anything. But meanwhile, the tax collection system is not encouraging so much that it will engender the usage of those taxes for infrastructure. Maybe that is why, because people pay their tax, people do pay, but they don't see the evidence of what those tax is supposed to achieve. How do we bridge this gap of lack of trust between the government and the average taxpayer?
The government have to just do the right thing, create infrastructures with this tax, because there's a big question for them. What are you using this money for if you're not giving us good infrastructure, no good road and no electricity? We need all of these to improve our businesses, right? So why don't you give us this? I think it's time we riot and just talk to them. They should just get things in place. Because exactly, we can't be giving in and then we don't see anything. They're not going to gain our trust if we don't see any results.
Are you asking for a revolution?
Of course, yes. It's time for that already.
But you know that we're on national TV. We cannot encourage a revolution. What we only encourage is gathering ideas and look at which of the ideas is going to be able to solve the problems that we have on hand. Because we don't advise for violence. Because violence definitely will create even more problems than we have found ourselves in. But be that as it may, you are entitled to your opinion, although we are still trying to educate people. What do you think the tax regime, what do you think taxation in Nigeria should look like in the next 3 years? Being that we'll be getting close to the first tenure of this present regime.
Everything should just be digital, and we can work with this. We can work towards this. This is something we can do if the government are willing to work with this, because I see them, getting money out for other infrastructure and all of that. They can also do this to just make all of this easy. Let's go digital. So we tell them what we want, and then we have a platform where we can speak to them directly with their reply and their feedback on our database and all. So I think with this communication, this cordial relationship and communication through the net, we can actually be heard.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. And direct to the point, digitalization is going to remove corruption, it's going to engender transparency, and it's also going to make sure that the government can be able to dip hands into the tax and effect infrastructural development in Nigeria. We have been speaking to Ms. Beatrice Ogunte, financial analyst. Don't forget, on Atlantic Television Network, we bring experts to come here to highlight and enlighten us on various topics that trend daily concerning business. And now let's go to the next story for the day. The federal government, through the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, has announced plans to commence a nationwide official groundbreaking for the phase 1 of the Renewed Hope Cities and Estates project, beginning with 1,250 housing units in 4 states in northern Nigeria. It said the groundbreaking event is scheduled to begin on May the 22nd in Katsina State and conclude on May the 25th in Gombe State. The Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmad Dangiwa, said in a statement on Sunday that the completion of the contracting process and the mobilization of reputable developers marked the commencement of this significant development. The exercise follows the program's official launch by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, with a 3,112 housing unit project in Karsana, Abuja in February 2024. A statement signed by the Minister's Special Assistant on Media, Mark Chesi, emphasized the commitment of the current administration to turning the country into a huge construction site and unlocking the potential of the housing sector to create jobs, catalyze economic growth, and contribute to the economy. Now let's go to the bombarding section of the questions. Is the government supposed to be involved in housing, or is it supposed to be a preserve of the private sector, Ms. Ogunte?
There's nothing bad if the government should be part of housing here in Nigeria.
We know the government is not a very good businessman.
At all, but that's if they're willing to, do something different from the private sector. But no, they aren't. I don't think the private sectors are going to do way better than them, because they want to do this to gain a lot of money for themselves, not even develop the country, let's say that, but maybe for their personal use and businesses. So these houses they are trying to create, it's not because they love us, that's the way I say it, because a common man cannot even afford these houses. So why then are you trying to do that? You're doing this to, stabilize the economy. So if we can actually work and have access to these houses, it's a different ball game. But the fact that we can't even earn enough to feed ourselves, not to talk of paying the government such a huge amount for a house, because I know that these houses they are going to get for us, it's not even going to be something compared to what the private sectors give to us. But if they are willing to bring it below what we get from the private sector, why are we going to kick against it? It's a good idea, but they should also consider it. They should also consider the common man, not just the high-class guys in the city. I was getting
to that question, but continue.
They can actually afford this. So if they're going to consider the common man, it's a go-go. It's 100. So let's just watch and see how it goes. But I just know.
Now coming to the million-dollar question. Are the poor going to have access to these facilities? Are the poor, is there any housing project tailored for the poor? Or is it just the middle class and the rich that are going to be able to? Because I know some people are going to even through corruption, they will try to buy more rooms there and now become mini landlords in that same. But I mean, these people that are able to only pay for one room, self-contained, one-bedroom flat, those kind of families, are they going to be part of these new cities and new estates that the president is building?
You call it an estate. When you use the word estate,
What?
the common man is not doesn't have what it takes to live in an estate. So if the government is creating an estate, maybe they want to, if they're going to change now, but the government, I know, they are business men. So they're not even going to accommodate the common man. It's an estate, my dear, so it's for the bigger guys, not even the middle class, because they want to gain profits. Like they said, they want to boost the economy, but now carrying people along, forgetting the fact that we, the people, are the economy booster. Give us what we want. Just solve our problem, and we'll solve your problems too in the country. That's what they don't understand. They're going to do housing where a lot of people are suffering. They can't even feed themselves.
Okay, concerning maintenance, because part of the problems of government not being a very good businessman is mostly maintenance. There are structures that were built way back that because of lack of maintenance, it had to be demolished or it was just laid waste, both in infrastructure and otherwise by the federal government, by the state governments, even by local governments. These new cities and estates, what is, in your own, in a few words, what is the maintenance structure going to be like? How is it going to be maintained?
The maintenance structure. Maybe I just feel they should actually, set up a group that check on these infrastructures, okay? On monthly basis.
Good.
Because they just do this stuff and then they just let it, and without maintenance, it's going to go bad, right? So I think there should be an organization that's go to check on
like
these
an
things.
inspectorate.
Yeah, to inspect, to supervise this project and infrastructure. So when something goes wrong, they tackle it immediately before it goes worse. So if they can make payments for maintenance, people in charge of maintenance and all, I think it's a go-go too.
We have been talking to Ms. Beatrice Ogunte, a financial analyst of repute. We have come to the end of this edition of ATN Business on Atlantic Television Network. It has been a good time spending and getting and picking your brains, Ms. Ogunte. It's a pleasure having you here once again.
Thank you very much.
And from this end, I'm your host, Raymond Ken Mbata, and we are still open for advert placements, bookings, commercials, and stay connected on our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, on Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, on X, formerly Twitter, Atlantic TV Net, and watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv. Peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for staying with us, and stay tuned for ATN Politics coming up next.